Welcome to another episode of Becoming Me TV with Maria McGrath. Talking to women about the journey that we're on to becoming the best version of ourselves. And today I really want to talk about this equality of women. International Women's Day was last week, and I think that we need to do more than just celebrate for one day. And I really want to talk about what it means to me. Okay, and this is my opinion through my eyes, my experiences, my education. I think, honestly, my generation has something to do with how I feel about it as well. About our fight to becoming equal. And I was talking to a woman, and this is what motivated this video. I was talking to a woman the other day, and I mean absolutely no disrespect. This is her opinion through her eyes and her education and her events, her life experience. And I was talking to this woman about creating some workshops and educating women about how we are different, how our minds are different, how our emotions, how our hormones, blah, blah, blah. And this woman said to me, you really have to be careful, Maria. You can't tell women that they're different. We've been fighting for 50 years to be the same. And that was a light bulb for me, because if we are fighting to be the same as men, we are fighting the wrong battle. We are pushing shit uphill, and we are never ever going to succeed. For me, the way I see it is that we are fighting to be treated the same, to be treated with respect as men are treated, to be treated with the same, to have the same pay as men, to be treated with respect in that regard, that we are paid for the work that we do. If we are in the same job, doing the same thing, then we should be on the same pay. We should be fighting to be understood. We should be fighting for men to know our differences, because they do not understand us. Okay, we need to be fighting to be understood, to be accepted as who we are. We are women, and we have been created differently. For example, and I don't say that it's men's fault, because they don't know any better, because we're not fighting to teach them any different, any better. So for an example, scientists are still testing. 15 years ago, it was 95% of medications, but now it's still around 75, 80. But they are testing medications for females and for males on male mice. Now, the male brain says, okay, so, we need to have a difference. So we'll just, castrate the male mice. We'll cut off their balls. They don't have testosterone. Now the test will be, for women. That's ridiculous. They do not understand, they should. Science proves that we have so many different emotions. We have so many different hormones. Our brains are different. Our hardware is different. Everything is different. And when we are trying to be like a male, we're fighting against our own source, our own DNA, our own being. We are suppressing who we are to be something that we're not. That is how I see this. And I know that there are a lot of women out there that are in this place where we need to fight to be female. And in that, we need to fight to be treated the same. Okay, not to be the same as men, because we can never be the same. Now, 4 out of 5 women will understand this, because there are those 1 out of 5 that do have more testosterone and they feel differently and they think differently, and they're more direct and they're more able, to learn in that male mind way. Okay, but 4 out of 5 women, when we are learning in that male dominated, you know, because everything in the education system, everything to this point in time has been taught in the male brain way. Okay, and we just don't quite grasp that because we have more emotion running us. Now, our minds are different, and I guess really quickly to just give an example, you know, our mind was created differently, all right? We have, whether we choose to or not, we have the ability to create human life inside of us. Now, if you're a woman and you get pregnant, do you have to sit there for 9 months and concentrate and focus on growing a human? No. You don't have to sit there and say, okay, today it's time to grow the spinal cord. Today is arms. Wow, I better rest up because tomorrow I'm growing the heart. We don't have to do that. Our body, our hardware was created to do that. That is a massive, massive, massive difference to what the male body was created to do. Okay, and I am not getting down on men. Men were created for a specific reason. They are created in a specific way. We were created in a specific way. And we right now are fighting to suppress what we are and to be male. And that is not going to work, ladies. If we want equality, then we have to educate ourselves on our differences. We have to learn to be true to us. Yes, we have to fight to be treated the same, to be respected, to have, you know, testing on female mice, not on male mice. We have to fight to get men to understand our differences so that we can then make the changes. I was reading articles where, you know, everything that is built for the standard male form, okay? Everything down to the crash test dummies in cars. Cars are built for males, okay? The airbags were built for the male, you know, and they're tested on the male form. So because we are women, we're generally shorter. We pull the seat closer to the steering wheel, okay? They haven't done tests, those crash tests on what the airbag is going to do to the female body because it's closer to the steering wheel. We're shorter generally. Okay, just that one example. We another thing that was in this article was that, you know, police uniforms, okay, their body armor thingies and the weight that they wear has all been tested, you know, OHS, you know, on male, the average male being, which is generally a bit higher and a bit heavier than the general female. Okay, so women are carrying more weight. Their vests don't fit properly because they've been tested on male. This is just a couple of things that I read in an article, okay, because I really wanted you to understand that, you know, right now, the male brain is working the way it always has. And it's not their fault. I'm not saying that at all. We need to educate the women. And when we say that, oh, you know, we can't rock the boat, we can't tell males we're different, then we are not doing ourselves any favors. We're not going to get the wins that we are fighting for. We are suppressing who we are by saying we are the same as men. Now, to go more into what we need, that I believe is when we are working to understand this female mind, we need to know that right now, all the education, like I said, from kindergarten through, the education of schools, universities, everything that we learn has been formulated by the male brain, okay? Most of our personal development that we are currently doing has been formulated by the male brain. And in that, as women, we learn, we go to events, we have education, and then we seem to struggle. And I talk to women all the time. We struggle to really make impact with what we're learning. It can all make logical sense, but then we can't put it into action. And then we beat ourselves up. You know, have you ever been to an event, a conference, a speaker, you've seen them talking on stage and oh my God, they make so much sense, and their energy and the charisma and everything else. I've been there, you know, oh, I'm going to get home and I'm making notes, crazily making notes. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And yes, that makes so much sense. And oh, that sounds like me. Yes, that's where I am. Right, I'm going to do this when I get home. And when I get home, or then when I got home, the excitement might last for a day or two, but then it would fade. And I couldn't implement all of these things that I learned. I would read my notes over and over again. But I could never get the action steps or the momentum or the movement that I wanted. And then I would beat myself up. I would say, why can't I do this? I would think there was something wrong with me, because I couldn't implement, I couldn't move forward, I couldn't get the results that I wanted by doing the steps that this person had said. And I think that's where a lot of us are now. We're beating ourselves up. Women, you know, we have so much noise in our head. We have so much struggle. There's noise, and then there's, you know, this, oh, I should do this and I should do that and I should be able to do this, and why can't I do that? Everyone else, we're comparing ourselves, everybody else can do it, why can't I? And this noise leads to this massive fog, this clutter that is in our mind that can't move us forward. We get bogged down. We can't see through the fog, and we wonder why, and we think it is just me. I think, you know, so many women are there, and we need, my job is to educate you that it is not you. You're just using the wrong tools. You need a female formulated tool to help you work with your mind, with your hardware, with your emotions, with your being. Okay. Right now. And, you know, it's through nature. Everything in nature. You look at, you know, David Attenborough and all of the natural elements in the world, all of the different animals, you know, the salmon that swim upstream. They're doing that. That is in their DNA. That is what they do. If you told them that they were some other kind of fish and that they couldn't swim upstream anymore, would they be able to do that? No. They are fighting only what they know, which is inside of them. Okay, if you were to dam that upstream, like so that they couldn't swim upstream to spawn, they would die. They wouldn't turn around and go somewhere else. They would literally die, because that is where their body, their unique DNA gets them to go. Right now, females are fighting against our uniqueness, our unique feminineness. Okay, we're fighting our mind, we're fighting our emotions, we're fighting our hormones. We're struggling. And this is why there is so much depression, so much anxiety, so much sadness, so much, you know, struggle. Because we are not being who we were meant to be. We're trying to be something else. We're trying to be male. And I'm not saying that we stop the fight, because we don't. We are fighting to be who we are. That is where the fight should be, ladies. We should fight to know ourselves, to know our unique hardware, and fight for us to be able to be who we are, and to then be treated as equal, to be treated with respect, to be honored, and to be loved, to be understood. That is where the fight has to start, ladies. Fight to be who we are. For you to be who you are. To understand your hardware. And, you know, when we stand up, when we get back to our true power, and in that I don't mean that we're better than anyone else. I mean that we are confident in who we are. We understand ourselves. We love ourselves. We respect ourselves. We have confidence and self-worth. Then we are standing in our power. Then we have a voice to say, hey, you need to start testing on female mice. You need to be creating a world that suits females as well as males. Because right now, 90% of stuff that is created by the male mind to suit the male body. And it's not that they're trying to, shortcut us. They just don't think in a different way. We as nurturers, as the female, we create life, we give birth, we are meant to nurture and love and protect and think about other beings other than ourselves. So we see the world in a different way than men see the world. Okay, we are fighting for our sons and our daughters, our kids and our grandkids and everything else. We are fighting for the whole of humanity, not just, what we can see in that logical mind way of moving forward in that male brain. And it's not their fault. I'm saying their brain was created in a certain way for a certain purpose to move things forward. We have to create an awareness. We have to be true to ourselves and not try and suppress who we are. We have to be the same as men. We are not. 4 out of 5 women are not anyway, okay? And that's the majority. We are not male. We are, and I truly believe the world will be a better place when we stand up and when we are teaching all the children that come, all the next generation, the differences, and that they both should be respected. They both should be understood. Both sexes. Educate men, educate women. Have them to understand each other. There will be better communication. There will be better relationships. There will be a better world. Things will be built differently and better. There will be better medications. Everything about the world could be better if we fight to be female, not to be male. To understand who we are and stand up and fight for that. To be who you are. To use tools that were created for the female mind, for you to be the best version of yourself. I think it's really important, ladies. And I hope I've made sense in this. I had, every time I get in the shower, I've got voice running around in my head telling me, all of this, it's like a download. It's the same as the car, all these places when I'm not near a camera to be able to, get it all out or voice record, what my thoughts are. And, I had to get up, I had to quickly get out of the shower, get ready, got to do a video. I have to record this. This is my thoughts right now. I hope it makes sense. And I certainly do not mean any disrespect to any other generation or to the male species or to the females. I hope that I've made some kind of sense that we are female, we are different. And we need to, 1, understand that, but 2, respect and honour ourselves. If we're going to expect males to respect and understand and treat us as equal, we need to understand and treat ourselves as equal first. And saying that we are the same as men is not treating ourselves as the best. We're not being true to ourselves. We are different. And it's crazy. I think it's absolutely insane. Because I still meet women who say, no, there's no difference between the male and the female. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm sorry about the swear word. But, there are so many differences. It's science, for God's sake. It's not just in my head. We grow human life. Even the retinas of our eyes are different. What we see is different. What we focus on is different. How we bring information in is different. Our minds, our brain is different. Our bodies are different. And that is okay because they were created to be different. What we need to fight for is to get an understanding for both sexes, to understand the differences, but to still respect each other, to know the differences and to be treated as equal, not to be equal, but to be treated with respect and honesty and understanding. And we can make a difference. But it starts with us. It starts with us, ladies, in understanding and getting rid of all the shit that we've got going on, all this mind chatter, okay? The painful emotions, the past traumas, you know, the mindset stuff, this noise, this constant noise that is running around in our heads, to release that, to then be in our own power. Then we can fight. We can understand ourselves. We can know our truth, you know, and it's not just this lifetime. You know, we have inherited the emotions and that feeling of not being respected, that feeling of not being equal, that feeling of being suppressed. We have inherited that from our mother and our grandmother and our great-grandmother and way back through the generations. So there's a lot of work, but it can be done easily and effortlessly. Don't get me wrong. You know, if you want to know more about how that can happen, or you want to educate the women in your life, you want to hold a workshop, you want to educate women, you want to know how we can make a difference, how we can release generations of suppression, how we can start making our voice heard in a respected way, how we can educate men and women in that way, then reach out to me, okay, for a conversation. Find out what we can do to move forward, because we want to make life better. We want to make it better for ourselves and for the next generation, the next generation, the next generation. But it comes first with understanding and accepting who we are, not suppressing it to be something that we're not. So I'll leave it there. I hope this made sense. Reach out. I would love to chat with you. And, you know, if you want more information about holding workshops or working on getting rid of that suppression, that noise, that get some clearness, get some confidence, that self-worth, stand in your power, then we can make real change. So happy International Women's Month. Let's make it year. Well, it should be every day. We should be fighting. Not fighting, it's the wrong word. We should be working towards creating equality every single day, not just one day of the year. Speak to you soon. Bye.